collegiate sports. Let's take a look real quick at the whole Rutgers University issues that have taken place. You know, it occurred to me this morning as I was sitting here preparing for this program. You know, a week ago, I don't think anybody, with perhaps maybe the exception of diehard Rutgers fans, could have even named for you who the men's basketball coach was. I don't think anybody in this country could have named who Rutgers University's basketball coach. They couldn't name him by name. There's no way. But now everybody knows who Mike Rice is, thanks to a whole load of different videos that came out showing him and his abusive behavior toward his own players during practice times. That ultimately got him fired on, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and within 24 hours thereafter, just yesterday, the athletic director himself was fired as well, who apparently became aware of these videos about 4 or 5 months ago and had taken some action against Mike Rice. He had, in fact, suspended him for a number of games. I forget if it was 2 or 3, and fined him up to $50,000. So it wasn't as if the administration had completely looked the other way, but I think the feeling was that, in fact, had the athletic director seen these, the obvious thing to have done would have been to potentially fire Mike Rice. And I think that that's probably why the athletic director himself was removed, because the thinking was that while the athletic director did have some reprimand and punishment, I suppose, if you want to call it that, for Mike Rice, and he did make a move, the move wasn't firm enough. Now, this is all just too reminiscent, I suppose, albeit I've been hesitant to go here in the past number of days and directly make comparisons of this particular incident to the incident that we just witnessed about 18 months ago at Penn State, because I think the severity of the two issues are completely different. So I hesitate to necessarily make a comparison, except from the standpoint that we have to wonder, in fact, how many of our institutions, and God knows it's far more than just 2, how many of our institutions have completely lost sight of what their mission is? How many have completely traded in the concepts of academics and academia for athletics? And that's a sad editorial. Christine Brennan, who is a very good columnist, I frequently read her over at USA Today, had a column yesterday, and I just wanted to read 2 paragraphs from it because I think she summed it up quite well. The Penn State scandal occurred not even a year and a half ago. The Rutgers news exploded this week. Who's next? We know there is a next. We know there is another big-time program waiting to self-destruct as soon as the light of day shines on its transgressions. Will huge athletic departments ever learn? Furthermore, will universities and their power-grabbing presidents ever admit that they are so beholden to their big-time sports programs that they've completely lost their way? Wow. And I think that's the question that we all need to be asking about collegiate sports. Listen, I'm as big a collegiate sport fan as anybody. I sit here in the fall and watch my collegiate football, and I sit here in the late winter and early spring and watch my collegiate basketball. I enjoy collegiate sports, but somewhere along the line, we have lost our complete sight. And, to blame specifically the institutions or the people running these institutions, I don't think necessarily goes far enough. I think we as fans have something to do and some blame to have to carry with all of this. We, in many respects, by supporting these programs and making them bigger than life, we, in many respects, have helped to promote and grow these programs to the extent that they now have a life of their own, to the extent that they no longer are part of an institution, but in many cases are the institution. The Rutgers situation. Any thoughts on that? 347-237-5373.